Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the intimate relationships, traumas and transformation, all connected with having the sign of Taurus ruling the 8th house within the natal birth chart. Now of course this video is specifically directed towards those of you who have Taurus ruling your 8th house within your chart. And also I just want to highlight that if you actually are a Taurus yourself, meaning that your sun sign is in Taurus, this video may be for you, but it also may not be for you. It's just really important for you to look to see which sign is ruling that 8th house cusp within your chart, okay? So for example, if you have the sign of Gemini ruling your 8th house, go to the Gemini video. Or if you have the sign of Virgo ruling your 8th house, then go to the Virgo video, and so on and so forth. I will be making a video for all 12 signs. However, before we do get started, if you would like to know more information all about Scorpio within astrology, so looking at your Scorpio house, looking at your Pluto sign and house, and also looking at your 8th house within your chart, then I have created a Scorpio season / archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Okay, so with all those introductions out of the way, Taurus ruling the 8th house. Let's do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by looking at your approach towards your intimate relationships, followed by looking at then potential traumatic emotional blockages really to bring to your attention. And then we're going to finish up by really addressing your transformations. So looking at how you can evolve and grow and rise up from those hypothetical phoenix ashes, which are really connected with the Minerva version or the higher octave version of the Pluto symbol. Okay, Taurus, so firstly then addressing your approach towards your intimate relationships. You just may be that type of person who wants to feel at ease within your intimate connections and relations. And so in terms of opening up and being vulnerable with a partner who you become intimately involved with, you must firstly feel that comfort, feel at ease with them before you open up. This may take some time, however, okay? After all, Taurus is still a relatively slow moving sign. It's quite patient, and so in order for you to get to a point with a partner where you trust them, where you feel that ability to open up with them, that just may take a little bit of time to do that. So maybe for you, Taurus, building upon a sustainable intimate relationship with someone is really important. It's very valuable to you. And the more that you grow, the more that you patiently, steadily build on an intimate connection with someone else, the more you start to open up. But then the more you start to then open up, the more you realize that you can really depend on that person, and they can also depend on you. However, of course, it's good to be aware of potential pitfalls that can come with this, because keeping in mind that the 8th house is also a house of control. It can also be a house of emotional dominance and emotional manipulation. So what I'm trying to suggest from this is be cautious of how you may try to be the more emotionally dominant one within that intimate relationship, where you could maneuver it to being where that person then depends on you for emotional support, for physical security. It can kind of possibly turn into codependency in this way. Of course, it can be the opposite effect, where you then rely on that person as well to meet your requirements and your needs in that way, especially if the physical world is connected in with this emotional world as well. And what I'm trying to get to from this further is attachment. So looking at how, Taurus, you may have the tendency to attach yourself to a particular intimate relationship because of the physical security that you're being provided with, or because of that sense of dependency. Now, of course, furthering on from things to be aware of here is also looking at how you may be stubborn within that connection, okay? Yes, you can grow and build on the trust with that person, but there can be this possibility of you being really stagnant and stubborn and holding on to this control, okay? This 8th house is still a house of power control. Therefore, you could stubbornly hold on to specific emotions or not let on that you're feeling a certain way, just so you can be the one who is in control. And you may also have this tendency of never really admitting whenever you're wrong. So if we were to ground this energy, looking at finances, you know, really looking at the 8th house in terms of joint accounts, joint finances, which I find this combination to be interesting because of course Taurus rules over the 2nd house within astrology, and that's to do with personal value, personal finances. But to have it placed in the opposite house then of where it naturally rules, this can suggest that you, Taurus, you may have this sense of greed or wanting financial gain through this union, but it's more done so for yourself. It may come more from a selfish nature. Now, of course, there's nothing necessarily wrong in saying that, but if you, for example, then use manipulation as a way to gain successes or gain finances from this person, whilst almost denying that person their own value, or almost draining the sort of value from them just for yourself, then this can of course create a lot of dissatisfaction for this, well, especially that other person, but it may also create a lot of dissatisfaction for you, because if you start to get really greedy or you become overindulgent within that intimate relationship, and then next thing you know, you're losing money, the finances are down, you're not really paying attention to what you need anymore, it's becoming, you know, it's becoming that very gluttonous type of energy here. And so this can bring some sort of chaotic experiences, situations into your life, especially with the 8th house being a house of urgency and crisis. So as a way to further this then, to ground it further, maybe a crisis or an urgency could hit, and because you don't have the measures and the means to provide, then you may go bankrupt. Your intimate connection may really struggle financially. This could be a situation where you and your intimate partner get into a lot of debt because you weren't paying attention to the joint accounts. You were more focused on the wealth and the abundance and the prosperity and the gain within that, rather than actually, well, thinking of, well, how can we properly sustain ourselves? How can we properly make sure that we're managing everything and then it's in said order? So in this way, it's good to be cautious when it comes to these things, because it's these very things that just may take a toll or a hit on your intimate relationship as well. I think this is quite interesting, you know, when it comes to the 8th house and joint accounts, is the joint accounts really do matter, and it's such a shame in a way that they do, you know, but at the same time you can see how realistically and practically, yeah, money can cause separations for people. It can be used as a way to manipulate, as a way to control, as a way to have more dominance and power over others. And so in terms of your approach towards intimate relationships, it's good to be aware of the value, like what is the proper value of that relationship? Is it that money is really important to you within that relationship? Or is it that there's other things that you value and you appreciate about that person? So looking at even how you can grow together emotionally, you know, how you can create that emotional bond together. It could also be suggested here, Taurus, that pleasure, so indulging in the simple pleasures within your intimate relationships, that's something that you really seek after in such an intense way. And it could even go to the extremes, right? The 8th house can also be a very extreme type of house, and so you could really fluctuate in weight at an extreme level because of that overindulgence, because of the pleasure, you know, in terms of food, for example. Could also be the extremes where you become this hoarder, or you start to collect things, you fill up your cupboards with certain items and materials, and whenever your intimate partner maybe asks you, well, why did you buy that? What, you already have 10 biscuits or packets of biscuits, why did you buy more? And then it may become this sort of fight for who is the most dominant or more in control. And of course, with Taurus being quite a stubborn sign, it doesn't like to budge, suggesting that you could very easily just put your partner in their place, and it can maybe even turn into this just arguing back and forth, or this real destructive energy between the two of you over really where the money is going. Like, what are you spending it on? How much are you accumulating? Are you being reckless with the finances just for your own indulgence and pleasures? Then again, Taurus, it could also be that you are possessive, you're jealous, maybe rageful within the intimate relationship, perhaps coming from your own insecurities of self-worth and self-value. But I do think that the more that you build on that relationship with this person, or the more that you see how loyal and committed they are to you, the more likely these things are to, they're going to subside, they're going to be released. But still, looking at these jealousy issues, possessive issues, let's lead on to the traumas then, because it may just be that you've had traumatic experiences in connection with these very things, or maybe you were raised in a physical secure home where there was jealousy and there was possessiveness. And this is quite interesting, because if you have the sign of Taurus ruling your 8th house within your natal birth chart, you are automatically gonna have Scorpio ruling your 2nd house opposite. That's the way it's going to be, because they come as that axis, suggesting here, Taurus, that you grew up in a physical security home where finances were used as a way to manipulate, as a way for control. It may have been that finances were scarce, it may have been that there was terror connected with finances, or there were extreme cases when it came to finances, suggesting that you had to really look at your own financial world as a means of survival. And of course, that is the reality, like, we need money to survive. But this for you may have been done so in a way that was so extreme and so terrifying and scary and haunting. It may have been done in a way where emotional manipulation was used against you. It may have been done in a way where there were power plays. It could have even been that you were forced to suppress your own inner values. You were forced to deny yourself your own desires. It could even be suggested that your own body was violated. You maybe experienced sexual abuse. You maybe experienced your own body being manipulated, so could have been snarky comments about your body and how it looked, how it appeared. It could have even been where your own property was stolen from you. Your own finances, your own materials were stolen from you. People may have lied to you when it came to finances and money. People may have tried to use it as a sense of power, to have more power over you. And it could even have been where there was just so much destruction and loss and your security overall, physical security overall, was just shaken. Another possibility here could be that there were hidden intentions found within the material world. So for example, you getting a gift or you being provided with some sort of material item, but the hidden intention from that person was so that you would shut up, or the hidden intention was so that you would not tell anybody about something that they did on you. There just could have been a sort of hidden reason, a hidden agenda for why you were given certain things growing up. It could even be that certain offers were made on the property that you lived in without you realizing. So maybe your family had to move away, so resulting in your physical security being shaken up, but maybe for reasons that you weren't fully aware of, that you fully did not understand, or maybe it just wasn't fair to you. Another possibility here is that you could have experienced entrapment or enslavement in relation with sex and intimacy yourself, but this, you know, in this way, sex may have been something that was exposed to you from a really young age, from an age that was not even appropriate. And so what I'm trying to get to here, Taurus, is that all of these things may just have resulted in your own self-worth, your own value system being difficult to tap into, being difficult to access, because that part of your own development was maybe seen as, no, you're not allowed to value yourself or think for yourself. You have to go along with what we need from you right now, because it's urgent. There's an urgency here with it. Your own values were just violated. Your own self-worth was violated in some way, and if it was manipulated, and if it was more turned into other people's value being much more important to yours, or they had more power and control, then all of these things could have just resulted in you not being really sure of, well, what you need, or how you can provide for yourself, or what's the point in materials, what's it really all for. Ultimately, what we're noticing here, Taurus, are feelings of lack. Feeling like you don't have enough. And maybe it's through an intimate partner that you subconsciously think that they are going to fill that void for you. But it can go to the extremes sometimes, where you then mistake that intimate connection with possession, with needing it so much that without it you'll be nothing. Maybe you're that type of person who finds it really hard to let go of past traumas. You find it really hard to let go of those people that try to control you and dominate you. Maybe it even gets to a point where you decide that you never want to form an intimate connection with someone because it's just much too painful. Or it could be that as you go into an intimate relationship with someone, then you're going to call the shots, and that's just the way it is, because you're not going to let anybody else into that intimate world, because hey, you're the one who's in control now. You weren't in control in the past, but boy, are you going to be in control in the future, in that way with your intimate relationships. So this leads us on to the transformation, because the transformation can be so beautiful and wonderful. Like, this is the thing about the 8th house. There's the transformation and the ability to come out of the murky sort of unresolved emotional complexities connected with it. And so in this way, you can be this intimate partner who is so deeply sensual in a way that is healing and really loving and appreciative, and you see the value in the connection that you form with this intimate partner. But in order to allow your intimate relationship to truly evolve, you gotta learn to be patient with yourself. You know, you gotta learn to look at those past traumas, and instead of necessarily identifying with them and blaming people all the time, just to learn how to acknowledge them, yes, but also learning how to let go of them and not let them constantly define you. And just being patient with this whole process, really patient with yourself about your own vulnerabilities and how to open up, rather than denying them and then projecting them onto your partner and trying to control and dominate them. And also learning to be patient with your partner, you know, and understanding that your partner probably comes with their own past inner demons as well, or their own past experiences that they went through that were maybe quite hard. Maybe it's good to give them the space to open up too. And I feel that if both of you can learn how to open up and be understanding and really communicate and be patient, then there can be this ability to allow that intimate relationship to blossom. Maybe trust is just so important to you. It's something that you yearn for in a connection. And until you get that trust, you're just like, no, I'm stubbornly gonna keep myself away. Trust is like that thing that you need in order to feel like your own emotional wounds are gonna be validated, valued. Trust may be something that you struggle with because of the past. But I do think with this transformation process, it's a gradual process. It's a steady building process. And I also think that it would be a good idea for you to look at how you can be stubborn when it comes to your emotions, especially your emotional complexities. So in terms of the transformation, to go easier on yourself, right? Just to be kind, more gentle towards yourself, and allow for certain emotions to arise and come up rather than rejecting them. And also feelings of love and gratitude towards your intimate partner, letting them come to the surface, but not just towards your intimate partner, just overall. Allowing those to come up. For example, the things that you have in your life, trying to focus on those things and be grateful for those things. Instead of always looking at what you're lacking, instead of saying, oh, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I need this, I need that. But actually to see the things that you do have and to see them as fruitful and see them as things that you've gained. But of course, also at the same time, trying not to attach yourself to them to such an extreme where if somebody borrows it from you, then you start getting all annoyed and all upset. That's mine, leave it alone, you know. It's just important to appreciate the materials and physical items that you have without attaching to them to the point of insanity or out of scarcity. But overall, Taurus, I do think that your intimate relationships can provide you with a lot of comfort and support and security. And from this, you could be the type of person who grows old with someone into your later years together. And there can be a lot of stamina and endurance that you bring into the intimate relationship, a lot of sensuality, exploring each other's pleasures, sexual pleasures and indulgences together as a union in that way. And you can do a lot of relaxing together, and there can be this level of strong intensity, you know, real seductive, intense love and sex appeal that you bring. And you may also know exactly how to please your intimate partner as well through exploration. But I do think in order to get to these levels with someone else, to feel that ease and that comfort with someone else, it's also, you know, learning how to bring down those walls, those stubborn, emotionally complex walls. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the intimate relationships, traumas and transformation, all connected with having the sign of Taurus ruling the 8th house within the natal birth chart. Now if you do happen to have Taurus ruling your 8th house within your birth chart, then let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!